Well, I'm excited to introduce you all to Jo Beth from the Good Dog Academy, where she offers various forms of dog training for her clients. She's out of around Denver. What's the specific area that you like to serve preferably?
Parker or the South Metro area.
Okay, perfect. So I brought Jo Beth on today just to help her provide some of her experience and showcase, the progress she's made, which is obviously very positive, and we want to celebrate. So to begin with, why or how did we first connect in regards to, chatting about business related topics?
So the first time we talked, you had actually sent me a message and gave me a tip to put my website address on my cover photo.
Oh,
So
okay.
a way that I could optimize my Facebook profile.
Oh, nice. So
Hmm.
then I guess, we started chatting a little bit through some months, I believe, from
Hmm.
thereafter. So where were you with the business, before we began working together? Because, that message versus when we started working together, there was probably 3 or 6 months. I can't remember. But like where, before you joined up, what were you working on or within your business at that time?
So I was actually working with a different coach, which is why it took so long to start working with you. And I was trying to work through their program and I was getting frustrated. I think about the time that you messaged me, I was maybe 3 or 4 months into that program and just zero results. It was expensive and I wasn't getting any kind of return.
Mm.
Um, and I was getting frustrated. I had zero client growth. And when we finally, when I signed on to start working with you, I was kind of worried because I had no success with social media marketing. And I was worried that it was going to be kind of more of the same thing. I was going to put all of this effort into it and I really wasn't going to get much of a return.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, is this going to be another uphill battle where there's no, rest stops along the way with beverages and food to fuel this journey
Right.
up the mountain?
Yeah, because I was already burnout and exhausted from how much effort that first program was taking. And so the idea of starting that kind of from the beginning all over again and doing the same amount of legwork was just really daunting.
Well, it took a huge leap of faith too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not an easy place to be in because it's natural to be like, is this going to be the same type of result that I'm going to get? But now I'm going to spend another 3 months plus doing it and to find myself in the same spot. So, I mean, I give credit to you for that because, many people would have a tough time taking that leap and giving someone else a chance. But especially for dog trainers, I think it's easier for us to understand. But even though you wouldn't necessarily have thought of that, but like, say someone reaches out to yourself or I with a dog training issue and they already went to another trainer and it didn't get the result that they wanted. So then they come to us, you're like, yeah, for sure, I get it. But that's kind of like what it was reminiscent of what you might have been feeling like is like, do I even try to go to another one? It's like, well, we're not all the same. So yeah, it might be beneficial for you. But anyways, I'm glad that you did take that leap of faith because it's been a fun journey to be part of with you.
Yeah, I agree.
So the next piece of it would just be like, maybe just reinforcing to me. So before we began working together, you hadn't really seen any kind of return on investment with the program. And how long was it that time that you were, kind of trying to get some additional business from it?
I think when did we start working together? Was it July? I think I signed on with you. Um, and I had been
Somewhere
working,
thereabouts.
yeah, I started that other program in October. So I had been working on it for, what is that, 8-ish months, 8 or 9 months, something like that.
Okay.
Well, 6 months,
Six
with,
plus months, we'll say.
yeah,
Okay.
with
And
zero activity, no leads, no nothing. My posts weren't getting any engagement. I really just wasn't getting anywhere.
okay.
Um,
Spinning tires, I guess we could say.
yeah.
So then, like at this stage of the game, after you took some took the leap, joined the course. What are things like in the business now?
I definitely feel like I'm in control a lot more of what kind of business I'm getting in. My obviously, like, my posts have been getting a ton of engagement. I never would have thought that I would be getting posts with, you know, 50, 80, 100 plus comments on it.
Mhm.
And being able to kind of find new avenues to reach out to. And it just feels like I'm a lot more empowered
Okay.
by this program. And the results that I've gotten have been exponential. Like, this past year has been record setting for me by times 10, really.
Okay.
Um, Something I never thought was possible within just a few months.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, 10x is not something to patronize that for sure. So, I
Right.
mean, you earned it. So, I mean, that's wonderful. So great job. Keep up the good work. But I think that's one of the huge things that I'm hearing lately from, other people, other members of the program, is like their level of confidence within like understanding Facebook and how to market on it, and to have more of a direct ability to kind of find clients. Their confidence has gone through the roof in comparison to what it was before, where it was this mysterious thing. I don't know what works, throw them pasta against the wall and seeing what sticks. And then, but also like, the benefits of sometimes just even those getting those highly engaging posts where it might not lead to a sale per se, but like realizing, oh, I can actually like do something specifically and have a big result. Well, what if I can do that too, but with, helping people? So it's a really good near term goal for people when they join the program, is to get lots of engagement. And they're like, oh, I can actually have, it's like an accelerator, put the foot down, and you actually can propel your business at a faster rate than just, I'm going to jump on the bus
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully it
Yeah.
stops at my location.
Right. Yeah. Being able to kind of filter my audience and get more targeted kind of reach has, I think, been one of the key parts of why I was so successful. Is like,
Sure.
I went in with a lot more intention, and like you said, not just throwing pasta against the wall and seeing what happens. It was like, this client, like, I can help this client, I just need to
Fine.
show them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
that's awesome, because, one of the biggest things, people don't often have really strategy.
yeah.
And it's like they don't know what they're going after. They don't know how many people they can serve. I hear it often when I'm talking before I ever work with anyone. How many clients are you looking to get? They're like, oh, as many as I can. I'm like, that's not a target. that's a
Hmm.
that's like a cross your fingers and toes and sees what happens. Like, I'm like, let's pick a number. Because then at the end of the month, you can be like, yeah, I met it or I didn't. And okay, I didn't meet it. So what could I influence differently that might help me reach it? So it just becomes a lot more, less mystery and more strategic. And then
Hmm.
that's where the confidence comes from, I would suspect.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add that about, where you are in the business right now, or anything that sticks out that is you feel like is worth mentioning? It's okay if you don't.
Yeah. I think what was it was I guess it was mostly just like surprising to me how much I could grow if I really put like targeted directed action, like a plan. And um I had one of the most profitable months I had ever had. I made like $7,400, which is astronomical to me. I
Mhm.
never thought that I could make that much money just in one month. um and that actually carried me, that went on into like several successful months, to the point where I'm in a position where I can have a private facility and I can open my own facility, and go full-time dog training, which again, I didn't think was an actual target that I could reach this year. I thought it was going to be 4 or 5 years down the road.
Right. And that's interesting because, I mean, there's not enough context here. I'll add some more for anybody watching, but you were essentially just like somewhat recently trying to propel your business forward to transition from your current job in the medical field, I believe, right?
Mhm.
And like exiting out of there to go full time as a dog trainer, which I remember, I think before you signed on, I was like, what if there was a possibility that you could go full time within a certain duration of time, is what I was proposing. And I don't remember what you said, but I feel like it was something along the lines of like, I don't see how that's possible. And you probably, in all honesty, because you had maybe heard some things prior from other coaches of being like, you can get this result, no problem, that you were like, yeah, whatever, bro. Like, I don't know if I believe what you're saying. And I'm like, oh, fair enough. Like, it's okay. Let's work towards it and see what we can do. And now, 6 months later, approximately, you're literally in the midst of trying to get the paperwork all done to get yourself a facility and transition into doing it full time. So like, that's monumental. So, well, congratulations. Like, the turnaround in 6 months is spectacular. And, obviously 10x. Plus, the other thing I don't think we mentioned was it was all organic. You didn't pay for any ads that I'm aware of.
No.
So they saved some money there and reinvested your time into building your audience and talking to them in a way that they understood, that, giving them some insights and value, and where you became, hey, like, I think maybe we should think about working together. So that's awesome. It's wonderful. Were there any unexpected benefits from, participating in the course that you didn't anticipate, when you signed up?
Um, I think one of the things that I appreciated the most was how hands-on working with you was. So the calls every week, being able to send you messages and get direct feedback from you, getting just like impromptu feedback from you. Hey, I noticed you were doing this. Go ahead and like, if you did this, it would be more successful for you, or it would help you reach your goals better. And then also the group, the messenger group, being able to post in it and say, hey, what do you guys think about this post? Or hey, can you go comment on this post and it'll help with engagement? And it was just like a lot of feedback back and forth between other people who were in similar situations, or a little bit ahead of me, and I can ask what got you there, or what are things that I
What flooring should you buy?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, about this facility. Hey guys, what are things that I have no idea, that I don't, I should know that I don't know, or what would you do differently,
Right.
so having that resource was immensely helpful. I really I the first program was very isolating and had very cookie cutter support. They'd have these calls once a month, and it was just to reiterate one of the programs that they did. And it got you nowhere. If you had already read the program, that was it. It wasn't even worth listening to. But the calls during the week that you host, they're always different. They're always targeted towards like a specific topic that you covered in the online course, but it was expanded or in more detail on the call, and you could ask questions and you could kind of customize those things to you and your needs.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And that was something that, I mean, I recognize myself going through numerous programs, coaching and otherwise, is that a huge component that I found was missing was like direct support. Because just like for dog trainers, right? Like, there's a reason why virtual dog training often doesn't have the same type of impact as it does with a person, is because the handler can't necessarily see what they're implementing in a way that was not necessarily the way that they were instructed. So you don't have that kind of 3,000-foot view of yourself unless you record yourself, which some people do, but the vast majority of regular dog owners and handlers do not. So there's so many missing pieces. And then when they do hit a wall and something's not working, well, you can't just go back to the curriculum and be like, do the same thing. And you keep doing the same thing, hoping for different results, right? So that's where I really wanted to make an emphasis, where a huge part of the program was multiple times a week, my members could have access to me and my experience, the other members, because I'll let other people chime in if they have some really good insights as to like, hey, how can we help you get unstuck, or do you need to try something differently, or hey, maybe your interpretation of the way you're supposed to be doing this is slightly askew, and just try this a little bit differently. So I'm grateful that, somewhere along the line I recognize that, and that I could also help, the members and the people taking the course in that way, because it's exactly the type of help I would want and have gotten later in programs.
Mhm. And just the accountability factor. If you're only thinking about the program once a month or once every other with
Right.
something, if it's on you to go read or remind yourself, you go read like 1,000 word module, you're gonna set that down because things always end up coming first. Your dogs come first, your life comes first. You have all these things, and because it's so daunting and overwhelming and you don't understand whatever, and you can't ask questions, you just set it down. You walk away
Right.
because it's too much. And so the calls helped kind of keep it in the forefront of your mind and make the information a lot more accessible because you had an instant resource. You ran into a wall, you asked a question, and then you got the answer. And it was an answer for you specifically,
Right.
which applied to other people. Other people can take the information, but it was really helpful to be able to get information that helped me specifically as a solo dog trainer. Um, so that was, I think, yeah, just a reiteration of like why the calls were so great, why I appreciated them so much.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like we can almost simplify it into a sentence: is the weekly calls help for accountability, coaching, and community,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
are all really helpful when you're trying to move forward with something that's challenging, right? Because it's easy to get off track, or a hurdle gets in your way and you can't get over the hurdle. So you just stop and you go in a different direction, but you don't realize that you're going in a different direction and you're going to end up in the same hurdle, in a week or two. So a huge piece of it is trying to help people get unstuck. Or if they're slowing down, be like, hey, just wanted to check in. Like, I mean, I sent a message to someone this week being like, hey, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Like, are you okay? And we have a call later this afternoon. I just having some issues with some personal stuff. I'm like, no worries. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay and that I could be there for you if you needed me. So I mean, I really like to provide more of a personal touch, because I care about everyone who's in the program and their lives and where they want to go, and their passion about, building a gentle, handling community around them. And, this is what I want to do and why I do it. So anyways, I'm just grateful that, things went as they have gone and that they'll continue to. Last question: if someone's on the fence about taking, my business accelerator course or marketing accelerator or expansion accelerator, what would you tell them?
Um, I think the biggest thing I would tell them is like, this is different. Um, this is different than what you've read. This is different than what you may have paid for with other coaches. And that's like, it's in, that's why it's, I don't know, you should take the leap because if you feel stuck, if you feel like you've tried everything and you just like haven't had any results, and why would I take another coach's thing? Why would I give more money away when I'm not making any money in the
Right.
first place? This is worth trying because it's not those programs. It's not the other programs. It's it's wildly different. And that's the reason that it was so beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. So I appreciate that and your time you took today, and I look forward to your continued progress, exponential. So keep
Yeah.
up the great work, and doing everything that we can together to make that happen. Um, but that's about it. Unless there was anything else you wanted to add, we can wrap up for today.
No, I think, you know, like I said, this program has been so helpful for me and it's gotten me further than I thought possible within that time period. I mean, I was making a couple $100 a month,
Yeah.
which is nothing. That's not sustainable. That's not something you can transition to full time. And now to like consistently bringing in several $1,000s a month, with only increased growth. It's only ever gotten better. So I know that if I keep up this program, if I keep doing the work and keep working, we keep working together, it's going to lead to a sustainable lifestyle for me. And it's gonna not only increase my income, but also change the amount of time, like improve my work-life balance so that I can
Right.
have the life that I want and not be drowning in work all the time and not be spinning my wheels. And so it's not only that this program is getting me more money and more success, whatever, leading me towards going full time, it's also changing the way that I do work and the way that I want to live my life so that I can have family time and work time in an appropriate balance that's, healthy for me and sustainable in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and that's something honestly that we haven't talked about at all on this call was there is an emphasis on ensuring that you invest in your family and not just grind yourself into, oh, I got a successful business, but I hate my life because now I'm tired all the time. And my family's like, where you been, Joe Beth? Where it's an emphasis because I've done that to myself and my own family, and I don't want other people to do it because there's a huge costs to pay that are not worth the cost. When if we do it mindfully and we prepare for the inevitable ebbs and flows of business and we carve out time, then it's like, hey, this is sustainable for my life, not this is sustainable for the next 1 to 2 years until I run out of steam and lose passion for the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad you brought that up because it is a huge piece that it's not just about like the program is not just like sales, sales, sales. Like that's like a tiny bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, market yourself better, help people understand the value that you bring to people. So when they come to you, they're already sold themselves. You don't have to get into a whole pitch or anything. There's can be a time and a place for that, but most of the time it's just investing a lot more in other people, meaning you provide value up front. And they're like, oh, this is the person when I need help, I'd like to go work with. So anyways, that's a really good point. Lifestyle is important. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming and look forward to, getting back on the horse together and the new chapter of your dog training journey.
Yeah. Thanks. Me too.
Thanks. We'll see you.
See ya.